Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover the real reason you might be feeling, well, stuck. Have you ever wondered why, even when you've got the best intentions and you're trying so hard, something just kind of holds you back? Today, we're talking about invisible brakes. These are the hidden barriers that keep us from actually moving forward. But more importantly, we're going to figure out how to completely overwrite them and finally take our power back. So I really want you to ask yourself, do you ever feel this sudden, massive rush of anxiety right when things are actually about to go well for you? Or maybe every single time you try to start a new project or, step outside your comfort zone, you feel this heavy, inexplicable resistance. It's literally like driving a car with the emergency brake pulled all the way up. You're slamming the gas pedal, burning all this energy, but you just can't get any real momentum.
That brings us to Section 1, the true identity of the struggle.
Look, that anxiety and that horrible stuck feeling you're experiencing, it is absolutely not your fault. Seriously, it's not a personal flaw and it's definitely not a lack of willpower. According to the psychology we're breaking down today, it's actually more like an old spell. It's this deep-seated brainwashing that was placed on you a long, long time ago. And the coolest part about realizing this? Spells can be broken. You can totally break free from this.
Let's look at Section 2, the injunctions engraved in the mind.
So the technical term for these invisible brakes is injunctions. Basically, these are unconscious psychological rules passed down from caregivers when you were just a kid. Deep in your subconscious, they dictate exactly what you're allowed or not allowed to do. Think about it. When you were little, you were completely dependent on adults for literally everything: survival, food, safety, love. Because of that utter dependence, whatever your caregivers communicated to you essentially became the absolute laws of your universe.
And what's really wild here is that these rules are often formed without a single word actually being spoken. It's not just about what a parent says out loud. Kids are unbelievably sensitive, right? They read the room. They pick up on a heavy sigh when they make a tiny mistake, or this freezing cold silence when they just want some attention. These silent cues are absorbed and internalized as these heavy, absolute rules. The child just adapts to whatever the expectation is, desperately trying to make sure they still get love and stay safe. So over time, giving up what you truly want just to please others becomes this deeply, deeply ingrained habit.
Moving right along to Section 3, 14 messages that steal confidence.
Now, these injunctions generally fall into two distinct buckets. On one side, we've got action and emotion injunctions. These basically suppress what you do and what you feel. Things like don't do anything, which usually happens when a parent overprotects a kid, doing everything for them so they end up feeling incapable. Or don't feel, teaching a child to just bury their emotions because, well, expressing them cause drama. But then, look at the other side, existence injunctions. These go way deeper. They literally attack your fundamental right to exist and belong. Messages like don't succeed, where you learn that outshining a parent just brings resentment. Or even don't be healthy, which happens when a kid realizes they only get love and attention when they're sick. The heaviest one of all is simply don't exist, which often comes from really severe environments of neglect. Take a second to really think about these. Chances are you're going to recognize the exact invisible brake that's been missing with your life.
Let's get into Section 4, reverse words to rewrite injunctions.
You know what the scariest part about these injunctions is? After a few years, they stop sounding like your parents, and they just start sounding like your own internal voice. That little voice whispering, "I can't do this," is literally just an old echo. So how on earth do we fix it? We use what are called liberating reverse words. By consciously declaring the absolute exact opposite of that toxic rule, you start dismantling years and years of false beliefs. If your invisible brake is don't do anything, your new liberating reverse word is I will do lots of things from now on. If it's don't feel, your reverse word is from now on, I will feel freely.
Now here's the catch. You can't just think this once and be magically cured. You have to practice this actively. You've got to say the new word out loud to yourself. Seriously, your mouth needs to speak it and your ears need to hear it. At first, yeah, it's going to feel kind of fake or like you're talking about a totally different person. That is 100% normal. You just have to keep at it. Repeat it every single day. While you're stuck in traffic, while you're brushing your teeth. You need to repeat this new truth just as many times as you were exposed to that original toxic message so your mind and your body can finally absorb it.
Okay, Section 5, signs the brainwashing is lifting.
How do you know it's working?
Well, you'll know the spell is breaking when, out of nowhere, you look back at a painful memory and you view it completely objectively. Kind of like you're just grading a quiz. You'll suddenly catch yourself thinking, wow, the person who said that to me was actually completely out of line. You'll realize that what you thought were your personal weaknesses were literally just imposed rules. And let me tell you, that brings a massive sense of liberation. You might even find yourself laughing about it or realizing you can think about a past traumatic scene without your heart pounding out of your chest. That emotional distance, that is the ultimate sign of healing.
But listen, it is absolutely crucial to remember that temporary setbacks are not failures. They really aren't. They're just natural fluctuations of your mind and body. When you're exhausted or sick or just super stressed out, you might feel yourself sliding right back into those old negative patterns. When that happens, please validate yourself. Do not beat yourself up over it. It's just a totally normal relapse because your mind and body are intrinsically connected. It's not a failure. You just acknowledge the stress, take a breath, and gently go right back to practicing those reverse words.
And finally, Section 6, living as your future self.
Look, the most important step you can take right this very second is to acknowledge your own immense strength. The mere fact that you survived with these heavy injunctions dragging you down for so long, that proves how incredibly resilient you are. You've shown crazy strength just making it this far. And now, you get to use that exact same strength to build a safe environment where the real you can actually thrive. That means actively stepping away from people and places that reinforce those old toxic rules. Start making small, everyday choices based entirely on your own will, not on what somebody else expects of you. Respect your own emotions.
I really want to leave you with this incredible quote from the source material. The words that bound you are not who you are. I mean, that just perfectly sums up everything we've talked about in this explainer. The heavy baggage you've been lugging around, the self-doubt, those invisible brakes, they were never yours to begin with. Somebody else put them there. And the very second you let go of those words, your real life actually begins.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. What new rules are you going to choose to live by starting today? The old spell is completely broken, and the pen is finally sitting right there in your hands. If you could overwrite any code holding you back, what kind of beautiful life would you write for yourself? That blank page is waiting.